think the challenge that we face is that, as we talked about it, that our structural nature in the country tends to paralyze even our other aspects of the country. We seem to forget that the country is bigger than that one day.
Yes.
And that makes us to be able to lose out on the bigger picture. But you can actually see the gains that Kenya has actually been able to make in the past 10 years from, asserting our space at the African Union in terms of what we've been able to achieve from a diplomatic perspective, the dividends that have actually come from diplomatically. Kenya was one of the countries that actually was among the top 5 to ratify the Africa Free Continental Trade Free Policy.
Yes.
We have actually supported, the growth and of the, the African passport. I mean, the aviation industry, the policies that have been there. Kenya has been the forefront in terms of the COVID response also in Africa and at large. We see what Ambassador Martin Kimani is doing at the UN Security Council. For the first time, Kenya is there. And not only that, when you come back home regionally, we are now very much vested in terms of the newly formed, ATMIS force that replaced Somalia, in Somalia, replaced AMISOM. We are seeing also our forays, in terms of looking at stabilizing East Africa space region in terms of Congo and DRC. We have also seen our overtures also in Mozambique that has been there. So we have actually invested so much in these spaces, and the challenge for me is that if we have a leadership that comes that will not be able to handle this kind of gains.
Yes.
Then we'll be actually relegated back. And you see, power is never, given, it's taken.
Exactly.
If we do not assert ourselves, if we do not have a visionary cabinet secretary coming in September, to shape that kind of direction, we would have clawbacks. Remember, Parliament attempted to actually even reduce the number of our foreign missions at some point. Yes. And actually, Ministry of Foreign Affairs...
120.
Yes. Ministry of Foreign Affairs had to rebut and say, this is where we get our trade capital, because all these kind of trade missions help us in terms of our bilateral engagement and our actually trade capacity. So I feel that it behooves the next government to actually take a critical overview of our foreign dividends that we have actually gotten and pursue them further. Because also just look at our import base. It's so huge, it's disproportionate to our export base. And that is a role of foreign policy, how we can turn it around and ensure that the new KPIs we give to our next set of ambassadors will actually to turn around that import-export dynamic, And so those are the kind of issues we are going to be weighing on the next foreign affairs minister and the foreign affairs chef who is going to be coming in September. Most importantly, Parliament has to also assert itself. And that's why for me, I'm saying, the kind of voters we have vis-a-vis the kind of voting we are going to do on 9th has great implications.
Plays a key role, because those are the same people who are going to pass this legislation.
Exactly, they're going to pass this legislation. Those are some people are going to be in the Foreign Relations and Defense Committee, and we'll actually have to adjudicate over the budgets that we'll have. Look at it in terms of when you are having the COVID situation, and Kenyans were asking about where is the reparation budget, and no one could be able to answer that. They say we don't have a reparation budget. So that if Kenyans are stranded outside there, they cannot be brought back to the country. It's sad. But that is the work of Parliament. It should be able to make provisions in that kind of budget. So these are the implications that you're seeing beyond just your August putting your ink on the finger.
It's huge. So
it's huge,